This is Miss Delore. I'm here to talk to you today about the Weston Game questions for Chapter 23. So if you'll follow along with me on the paper, it would help you a lot. The first worksheet is characterization and point of view. Who had what effect? Now, for the purposes of this worksheet, we're going to be working with Turtle today. So Turtle is the character that you are going to be answering these questions about. Even though, as several of you know, there are several protagonists in the Weston Game, for this chapter, Turtle, I believe, would be the best option. Think about the secondary or supporting characters in the novel. What effect did they have on the protagonists? And once again, the protagonist is the main character, but we're going to be using Turtle. Which one most influenced the main character? Which one was the most supportive to the main character? To influence means to somehow lead, encourage, or cause someone to do something, positive or negative, that he or she might not normally have done. For example, let's take Little Red Riding Hood. The Big Bad Wolf is an influence in Little Red Riding Hood's life. Not a positive one, he's very much a negative influence, but he convinces Little Red Riding Hood to go pick flowers for Granny while he goes off and eats Granny. He is an influence. Like I said, not all influences are positive. To support means to give someone the help they need to accomplish something. Okay, let's talk about Cinderella. In Cinderella, her support was Fairy Godmother. Fairy Godmother gave her a dress, gave her a carriage, all of that information. She was a big support for Cinderella. You're going to use the character Turtle, as we have said. Number 1, the protagonist was most influenced by. In other words, who was the person to lead her to do something, maybe encourage her to do something, maybe cause her to do something, and it could be either negative or positive. There are examples of both negative and positive influences in Turtle's life. Now, here's a big thing. I want a different person when it comes to when we do support. So whoever you choose as Turtle's influence, keep in mind you cannot use the same person as her support. After you write who you think influenced Turtle the most, tell me why. And I would like this in a complete sentence. Don't just say, nice. Okay, that doesn't even make sense. So I would like a complete sentence on why you think that person would influence Turtle. Then give me a quotation or an example of how they influenced her. And I want that as a sentence from the book. So I want an actual sentence from the book that shows that they were the influence on Turtle's life. Number 2, the protagonist was most supported. Remember, support is when they give you help to accomplish something, and Turtle had quite a few support systems. So don't say, oh, Miss Lure, I can't think of anybody. Remember, if you do have questions and if you do need help, please email me. I'll help you out. I won't give you the answers, but I'll lead you to the answer. So the protagonist was most supported by, because, once again, I want a complete sentence for why they were the Turtle's support. I want a complete sentence. And then, once again, a quotation or example. Find a sentence in the book that shows that they supported Turtle. Number 3, are the two characters you name more similar or different from one another? Explain. Now, this is a matter of opinion, but you have to be able to back it up with facts. Don't say, oh, they're the same. Okay, I'll just say, no, they weren't. Or, oh, they were different then. Yeah, but how? You have to be able to explain why you think they were similar or why you think they were different. That's a big part of the question. It's not good. Remember, it's like I think cats are the best pets thing. If I'm not able to explain why, then I'm wrong, even if I'm right. Let's turn to the next worksheet. Plot and structure, storyboard a scene. Now this, you can have a lot of fun with this if you want. When movie directors think about how to film a scene, they often create a storyboard. They draw pictures of key moments in the scene to show how the action progresses within the scene. Do this for an important scene from the novel. Okay, stop right there. I want you to do it a scene from chapter 23. It has to be from chapter 23. You may use a few words in or around each picture, but try to tell the story of the scene mostly through images. So, I want you to storyboard a scene from chapter 23. Once again, very important. Please, you do have to use all 6 boxes. So don't just draw something in the first box. Don't just draw a stick figure. If I can't figure it out, that's not storyboarding a scene. And just drawing a little stick figure, that does not help me figure out what's going on here. So you have to include enough detail so that I can understand. Here's a hint. If you're not a good artist, okay, I'm not a good artist. My stick figure look like they're always falling down. So what you can do is you can find pictures from the internet and copy paste them into your storyboard to help you represent that scene. And that is perfectly fine with me as long as I'm able to tell, oh, okay, here's where Turtle did this. Oh, here's where Doug did this, okay? As long as I'm able to tell from the pictures. If that makes sense. Once again, if you have questions, email me, LiveGrade. Any of those options is great. Look at the bottom. Why did you choose this scene? And don't tell me, oh, because it was in chapter 23. No. What about the way this scene is written made you feel it was a good one to storyboard? So explain why you chose whichever scene in chapter 23 you did, and then tell me why it would. Think of it this way. In a movie, you don't use every single scene in a book because then the movie would be hours and hours long. So think of a scene from chapter 23 that would be, oh yeah, that would be great in a movie. I could definitely see people being able to do that in a movie. Think of it that way, and that should help you a lot with figuring out how to answer that last question. Once again, my email is available. Please don't hesitate. All right, thank you and have a great day.